Hi everyone, my name is Anita Yusof. First and foremost, I would like to thank Plie Malaysia for giving me the opportunity to share my story. Okay, a little bit about myself. I was born in Batu Pahat, Johor. I'm 53 years old and a mother of two boys. Both my boys are adult now and the eldest already married and has one child. So I am now a proud granny. I was a sports science lecturer at the Teachers Training Institute, Ipoh campus for 10 years. Prior to that, I was a teacher. So this is my last workplace. Yeah, I'm wearing t-shirt and track pants as my daily attire, and I rode my motorbike to work every day. Imagine you have a lecturer riding a big BMW motorbike. How cool is that? In December 2019, about 3 years after I completed my first world ride, I opted for an early retirement because I felt that I could no longer live a normal life working 8 to 5. It's way too comfortable for a hardcore adventurer like me. So I am now a full-time nomad, proud of it and enjoying every moment of it. I am very blessed to be able to visit approximately 100 countries till date. In the map, it might look like I have covered 3/4 of the world, but actually no. There are still plenty of small countries, particularly islands, which I have yet to see. I started as a backpacker and my very first backpacking trip was to Europe, which I did solo. After gaining the confidence to travel solo, I ventured to more of the beaten places rather than the normal touristic spots. For example, like I went to Iran and Lebanon. These countries are not popular among tourists, especially Malaysian. Why did I change my method of traveling and turn myself from a backpacker to an adventure rider? Well, way back in 2012, I faced a very serious relationship conflict and I felt that my world seemed to be turning upside down. At that point in life, I told myself, okay, before I go crazy, let's do something crazy first. But I didn't know what kind of crazy thing that I wanted to do. In the same time, I read a blog of this Malaysian cyclist who cycled to Kyrgyzstan. It seemed like a very beautiful country. I contacted this guy and being a backpacker at that time, I asked him about transportation to visit Kyrgyzstan. But he told me Kyrgyzstan is an underdeveloped country. So in order to visit the places he went, I must have my own transport. Since my holidays were short and cycling will take forever to reach, he suggested that I ride a motorbike. I didn't know how to ride a motorbike at that time. So I took the challenge and I picked up riding mainly to shift my mind from going crazy because of the relationship conflict and secondly to travel. That's how it started for me, and after that there's no turning back. I find that riding is a kind of therapy to cure the pain in my heart. I get very addicted into riding that at every opportunity that I have, even if it's just 3 days holidays, all I have in mind is to just ride my bike, go somewhere and break loose. So for 3 years, I rode in the neighboring countries to gain experience. Sometimes with my own bike, sometimes with a rented bike. It never crossed my mind then that I will be riding a motorbike around the world. But you know, things happen. So in 2015, I decided to take 1 year off from job to satisfy my desire to see the world. I made the necessary preparation and then I flew myself and my bike to Seattle, United States. I named the ride Global Dream Ride and the aim was to cover 4 continents and 40 countries. The ride took approximately 1 year to complete. During this ride, I learned lots of new things, meeting new people, make friends with many which in the end became family, understanding cultures and tradition and many more. I also face lots of challenges such as severe weather, crazy wind, extreme temperatures ranging from 50 degrees Celsius to minus 20 degrees Celsius, bad road, brutal driving attitude which almost caused fatal, communication breakdown, corrupted authorities, difficulties to get fuel, expensive price of everything, and the list goes on. However, against all odds, I managed to achieve my goal and became the first Muslim woman and the first Malaysian to successfully ride around the world solo on a motorbike. Yay! No word can accurately describe how I feel upon the success of my world ride. I have 1001 feelings inside me. To simplify them is a sense of accomplishment. You know, after all the hard work, striving to achieve what your mind and soul had set from the beginning, and after that you achieve your goal, that's the kind of feelings. Satisfaction, proud, happy, and most importantly, I felt relief because I'm still alive to share the tales. Ramadan this year will be my third time away from home. The first was in 2016 when I did my first world ride. Second time was last year in Tanzania, and I am at present in Kenya. The most challenging Ramadan will definitely be in 2016. Ramadan arrived when I was in Ankara and I was taking a break at that time. I stayed with a Malaysian couple for a week, and during that time I get to breakfast eating delicious food cooked by my lovely host Fida. However, the remaining 3 weeks of Ramadan, I was on the go from Turkey to Iran to Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan. It was very hard because it was summer at that time. Fasting started as early as 2:30 a.m. and breakfasting at 8:30 p.m. Just imagine, I just had a big meal during breakfast, but within few hours, I have to eat again before fasting begin. So I'm still full, but if I didn't eat, I wouldn't have the energy to ride the next day. And those countries didn't have good road as in Malaysia. Sometimes I have to ride on off-road, and at other times I have to fight with strong side wind. Often my bike was pushed to the other side of the road by the wind because I didn't have the energy to fight anymore. Fortunately, I didn't skid and drop my bike. The most unforgettable riding experience during Ramadan was when I'm crossing Garagum Desert from Iran to Turkmenistan. It started with badly sunken broken asphalt to gravels to dirt with lots of potholes so big, so deep it could easily fit a family of elephants to have their morning coffee together. There were countless of times that I didn't know which trail to ride on because the whole road was filled with potholes. At times I could only move 13 km per hour, and at other times I went flying with my bike just like a motocross rider but with a fully loaded bike. After I get tense and impatient, I rode faster, and the result? The base of my top box at the back was bent due to the hard impact during landing. And to make matters worse, the temperature was 50 degrees Celsius and I'm fasting. Can you believe that? The heat was crazy. There's some wind, but it didn't give any fresh feelings as it blew hot dusty air into my face, and I felt so pain on my cracking lips. I didn't have any more saliva to recycle to at least wet my drying throat. The most tortured part was the soft sense. I was so dehydrated and I felt like I'm going to faint anytime. However, I was so stubborn to break my fast. It took me 4 hours to cover that 120-kilometer stretch before I met paved road again. Can you feel what I had to go through riding under the blazing heat of summer with temperature at 50 degrees Celsius? It's not fun, okay? It's not fun at all. In total, I rode 440 kilometers that day before reaching my host house. Felt like dying already. Among the things which I miss most when traveling during Ramadan are definitely our Yamilicious local delicacies. Bubur lambuk, kuih tepung pelita, buah melaka, serimuka, cucuk udang and murtabak. Those are my favorites. However, it's almost impossible for me to eat all this unless if I stayed with a Malaysian host. It's hard to cook it myself either because of difficulties to find the ingredients. But sometimes I will make cucuk ikan bilis. How? Using anchovies cube. You know, when you are away from home, you need to be a little bit creative. As for Hari Raya, I was very lucky that in 2016, I arrived Tashkent, Uzbekistan 5 days prior to the celebration, and the ambassador, Datuk Nuraini Abdul Hamid, invited me to celebrate with her family. I thought I'm not going to celebrate Raya that year, or perhaps I will celebrate Raya with wild horses and wild goats in the mountains. But as the saying goes, manusia merancang, Tuhan menentukan. Not only I get to celebrate Raya in Uzbekistan, but I also celebrated Raya in Kazakhstan with Madam Noriza. She was the head of tourism Malaysia in Almaty at that time. For Raya last year, I was in Tanzania. Okay, for your information, I started my second world ride in December 2019, but due to COVID, my ride was forced to stop. During my hibernation, I purposely chose to stay at the Muslim community area so that it's easy for me to find halal food. I celebrated Raya at the guest house which I stayed with the owner and his family. The special Raya menu for them is nasi biryani. Raya is a very joyful 4-day celebration for the Tanzanian Muslims. Giving the kids duit Raya and exchanging gifts among the adults are the norm here. I'm lucky to witness how Ramadan was celebrated in some Muslim countries. Restaurants are normally closed during daytime, and some countries are same like in Malaysia. I mean, the government sectors and schools will be dismissed earlier. As for breakfast menu in Iran, for example, there will be lots of sweet things, and bread will be served as starter, followed with a main dish such as gourmet sabzi and kebab. In Turkmenistan, the women of the house will spread a long mat on the floor and put lots of foods and fruits. In Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan, they will serve you with chocolates, candies, sweets, fruits, and followed with bread and soup. However, in Turkey, it's a common sight to see Muslim men and women eating in public during daytime in Ramadan, like nobody's business. They are not punished for not fasting, not like in most other Muslim countries, including Malaysia. Ramadan away from home, I also miss the routine of performing Solat Tarawih at the mosque because either there is no mosque nearby or women are not allowed to join the prayer. In certain countries are like that. So I have to perform the Solat alone in my room at the guest house. But whenever possible, I will surely join the prayer at the mosque with other local women, and I will always be the center of attraction. This is among the things which will always put a smile on my face whenever I recall my Ramadan experience abroad. Well, to me, one of the beauty of traveling is we get to see how religion is being implemented in other countries. Differences in religion implementation doesn't mean that they are wrong or we are right. We have our way and so are they. They might follow a different imam or sect or mazhab in Malay, but it is still the same religion. It is still Islam. Okay guys, I think that's all for now. Thanks for listening to my sharing. Again, I would like to thank Plie Malaysia for having me. I would also want to take this opportunity to wish Muslim viewers happy Ramadan and an advance Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, maaf zahir dan batin. Hopefully COVID goes away soon and the curve flattens so that you all can go balik kampung for Raya. Till then folks, stay safe and take care. Bye.